Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. Gap down open for buying today. And we have the bulls needing to prove follow through tomorrow with an hourly trend change in their favor. Watching very closely all this month of May for rotation back into growth names. A little bit of a sign of it today. We need a lot more proving, and I'll show you what we need to see. So we got SPY losing the daily higher lows by breaking 410.59. That is notable. Weekly consolidation underway. Plenty of space for a weekly higher low. We've been holding the weekly EMA 12 at this point for the last 5.5 months. So it'll be notable if that level is lost. Bulls want to maintain it. Decent bounce today, but the financial sector held things back a little bit. Essentially what happened this morning, we had the follow-through weakness that we were watching for because of how we closed yesterday. Go back and watch the video yesterday if you didn't. I pointed out all the signs as to why I was swinging the biggest bearish position that I've been in a very long time, and we got that follow-through. The QQQ bulls saw a massive bounce. The XLF bulls saw a bear flag bounce on the hourly, which we'll look at in just a second. And so SPY is really somewhere in the middle. Strong bounce, weaker bounce, SPY in the middle. And we're back testing and rejecting from hourly EMA 12 resistance. And we need an hourly trend change back to the bulls if we're going to say that a daily higher low, no, I take that back. We can't set a daily higher low because we lost daily supports. But we have to change the hourly trend bullish for a bounce to be underway. And then real aggressive bears are going to scout a lower high compared to 422.82. But again, I'm watching for rotation. And I'm going to talk about that more towards the end of this video. But essentially what I view is happening here over the past few days is just your snow globe is being shaken up, and I'm watching to see how all the little particles settle down, where you get a little rush of fear to shake things up, and then money starts distributing in different places, rotating. So, QQQ, gap down, big time buying of the dip. Today was an easy day in the sense that we know what direction we're looking first thing. Nobody is looking to make a bearish entry at the open when hourly RSIs are down in the teens for most tech sector names. So very easy to know I'm looking bullish this morning. We then know that we're just looking for an hourly lower high, and we have to change the hourly trend if we're going to see follow through. Today was an example where we never really set that hourly lower high. Bulls kept this bounce going and just grinded their way up, and we leveled out towards the end of the day, but no hourly top set. So tomorrow we're going to see one of two things: a higher open, with which I will look to short because we haven't confirmed an hourly trend change and hourly consolidation will be inevitable, or a lower open, and it's then up to the bulls to hold the low of the day on a lower open and break the high of today if we're going to confirm an hourly trend change. I have no idea if we're going to open higher or lower, so I exited a lot of my swing positions. Pre-market, I was busy. I exited 2/3 of my bearish FAZ position and SQQQ position, and I also bought Tesla pre-market at 580, and that is what I did this morning. Exited, scaled out of bearish positions, entered Tesla for a bounce flip that ended up being 1.5 day maker roughly, and I have no idea where we're going to open tomorrow. Yesterday, I was fairly confident that we were going to see a lower open today because of all the signs I talked about in the video yesterday, and when I'm not that confident, I go a lot lighter and a lot more even on my portfolio weight. And I have no problem starting tomorrow with a fresh, clean slate and trading what is given to me. A lower open, and I'm scouting a bullish entry for hourly higher lows. A higher open, and I'm scouting a bearish entry for hourly consolidation. If the bulls change hourly trends, we're just looking for daily lower highs. On QQQ, anything under 336.65 is a daily lower high. IWM, bounce, gap down for buying. Again, we need the hourly trend change. We need a daily trend change, and we're just barely trying to hang on to these weekly higher lows. We lost weekly support by $1. Question is, will we see bear follow through? So IWM is a little bit toppy. Definitely would be cautious. Let's see if we can draw some guideline trend lines. I mean, technically, we have not closed below this uptrend support line. I'd be keeping an eye on something like that. But again, one time frame at a time. Have to change the hourly trend, have to change the daily trend on names that are in daily downtrends. Financial sector. So this bounce is a potential hourly bear flag. Just like yesterday, I have a larger position in FAZ than I do in SQQQ because the QQQ bulls proved more to me today on its bounce. XLF, no red flags whatsoever. We're looking for a daily high or low. Daily EMA 12 is support. If we drop down to break 3604, we'll start talking about red flags. But again, that's why I'm looking for rotation. Because yes, we are seeing consolidation at the same time, but no, there is no fear in XLF or XLV right now. And this reminds me of, I'm just having a flashback right now. Got to see where it aligns mid-April. Reminds me right here, where mid-April, QQQ pulled back for a few days at the same time that XLF pulled back for a few days. And with bull sectors dropping at the same time, our question was, uh-oh, are we about to see a shift? Are we about to see money leave the market? And nope, it was just 3 days of shaking up the snow globe. And then that's when the XLF bulls turned on the jets again. And that's when, essentially, it's just a new little round of rotation, all right? Shake up the money. Some positions were liquidated. Positions are being established. Where's the money going? And that's what we're going to be watching over the next few days. Still need proof from the bulls for us to say, okay, fear's alleviated for now in the QQQ sector, in tech sector most importantly. But again, unless we see major red flags on XLF and XLV, we are scouting rotation. So XLV daily support is down at 121.73 and still in an uptrend. Bulls need an hourly trend change back in their favor for a daily higher low to be set. Biotech sector, gap down open and a massive bounce. The bounce from this low to the high for the entire sector was 6 to 7%, which means the leveraged ETFs went 15% plus. The 4-hour falling wedge. If you've been watching these videos for a while, you know I traded the Bitcoin, I traded the biotech bounce last time this 4-hour falling wedge support was hit. And at that point in time, it was right here in the 125.90s. And let's just turn off extended hours to smooth it out. My point is, we're still bouncing off that support line. We still have a downtrending resistance line. It's different than the previous one that I had drawn, which was tighter. But we're still watching for the same thing on all these names that have the same pattern of monthly consolidation the last 4 months. We're scouting monthly higher lows, fully aware that we can always see another leg down. But that doesn't stop us for patiently paying attention. And it's the biotech sector. Let's just go through all the names that I'm talking about. Biotech sector, PLTR, growth names here. We've got MSOS is looking for the monthly higher low, and the ARC ETFs. All looking for monthly higher lows. And the question today is this gap down open in extremely extended RSI levels and big time volume, is that a climax low? Was this flushing out the last of the bulls that are going to stop out? And was this the new wave of bulls money coming in to be looking for monthly higher lows? It is way too soon to say, but again, we are watching for the next 2+ weeks for signs that that is happening. We've been saying this whole time, prove it, change the trend. And so many times, fail, fail, fail. So that's going to have to happen for us to say, okay, this time is different. XBI has not seen a daily higher low and higher high since the all-time highs. We need enough bounce follow through on the daily to create the space for a daily higher low, to create the space for a daily trend change for the first time. And if we get it, we'll then be watching for that to be our monthly higher low. And we'll then watch on names that pulled back this significantly. We're just going to watch for a monthly lower high, but there's a lot of upside potential of 10, 20% on the sector before that monthly lower high is potentially set. Again, I'm just looking out. I'm not making any trades based off of this right now. I just am turning the wheels, and this is something that I know that I need to be watching for through the summer, because monthly higher lows will happen unless the broader market collapses, and we will see that coming a mile away with volume and all of our sectors showing weakness. SMH. Bulls buying the dip. Weekly time frame. So 216.14 is the biggest, the most important longer term level for me after the double top at all-time highs. Hourly trend change needed, just like everybody else. If the bulls change the hourly trend tomorrow, we zoom out, we scout a daily lower high compared to 24.50. On both QQQ and SMH, what bulls are hoping for is another big green day tomorrow to set up a potential inverse head and shoulders to set up a daily trend change. But again, that's looking 3-4 days out. All I care about is tomorrow right now. Can we confirm hourly trend changes and see follow through? If yes, we are just scouting a daily lower high. Bulls showing up with volume tomorrow with the high volume second green candle in names where we're watching for money to rotate back into our growth names will stand out to me if that happens. Tan, tons of proving for the bulls here. Hourly trend change needed. If we get it, we zoom out. There's a resistance level at 77.52 to be watching. I personally would consider anything under 71, make that 91.95. Just a daily lower high. Have to change the daily trend. Hasn't happened since the 125s. Baby step number one. The only reason why I'm watching this setup to say maybe that's our low is because, again, it was your maximum flush out of fear and a V-shaped bounce for now. V-shape follow through tomorrow would be very notable. MSOS, bulls buying the dip significantly. The volume stands out to me. Earnings still rolling around for some of our major names. And it's all about 44.14. We have to break that level for the first confirmed daily trend change since the all-time high, trying for an inverse head and shoulders setup. We need an hourly trend change back to the bulls. Same as everybody else. The VIX follow through. So again, as I pointed out in the video yesterday, it was notable to me to close at the high. When is the last time we closed at the high? Right here, and we got another day of follow through. Now, here's our another day of follow through. Are we going to see it subside, fear subside, and rotation pick back up? I don't know, but I'm watching for it. Hourly support, 21 and 2070. If those levels break, plenty of space for a daily high or low. But we didn't see all of our major sectors at the low of the day at the same time today because it was a gap down open and the QQQ bulls controlled from the open, which is why you've got that pretty solid upper wick. Dollar still weak. Anything under 91.44 is just a daily lower high. Keep it simple. That's all I care about. Gold. Bull flag on the daily possible. Again, the fact that the metals have held on this strong while we saw that little quick wave of fear is a good sign. Metals are just fine. Daily bull flags and looking up towards our recent highs. Bull miners, significant dip buying the gap down open. Hourly trend change back to the bulls is needed like everybody else. And then we'll be watching this uptrending resistance line, which has come into play 3 times. But just like everybody else, an hourly trend change is needed for a daily high or low. That's not the case for everybody else, but the hourly trend changes. Oil and natural gas, very interesting. Both broke our very clear support with 0 follow through. So bear break of 63.90 by 22 cents and a close at the high of the day, holding daily EMA 12. Natural gas, bear break of a quadruple bottom. When a support level is that clear and it breaks and you get no bear follow through, it's very notable in the other direction. Everybody's watching that support. So it's still a potential bull flag here, just sideways. 2937 is resistance, and both energy names breaking daily support and closing strong is very notable to me for bulls keeping their control on this move. What else did I do today? So Tesla bought pre-market, sold at 608 for almost a 5% move. And it was a small position. It was just an initial 1/3 entry scaling in. And I would have added more if we flushed right at the open. But the bounce started, $18 underway before the bell rang. And I said, I'm not going to add. I'm just going to stick with the position I have. And that was a nice win. Did make some other trades. Scaled back in a little bit of my SQQQ position that I took profit on. So let's just say I have 4 shares of SQQQ last night's swing trade. This morning I exited 3 of them pre-market. Then I added back 1 of them this afternoon when I was starting to scout an hourly lower high. We didn't convincingly get it, but considering where I covered, or where I exited, and now making a 1/3 re-entry back, I am perfectly fine doing that. And I only entered 1/3 because it's entirely possible we see a higher open. I would not be surprised to see maximum fear straight into FOMO. I know that markets love to flip your emotions as fast as possible, which is one reason I'm being a little bit cautious in both directions from here. Other than that, did a little NIO trading, some flips on NIO, some flips on TLRY. Neither really notable, some small wins and small losses, but it was really the swing trade that made today. And it's been a really good couple of days this week. So back more flat and taking it one day at a time as always. Feel free to ask any questions. Thanks for your attention. Likes, subscribes, comment, do good things. Beets and corn, radishes and onions. The peas are starting to put flowers on. Wasn't sure if the poppy seeds were going to germinate because they need stratification and cold. So I threw down 100,000 and it looks like tens of thousands are gonna make it. Lilacs are in full bloom. Aroma surrounds the house.